Welcome to Glaucoma Traveller, episode 6, Walking Around Birmingham. Well, hello again. Today is just an audio podcast, not an enhanced podcast, so we're just going to talk about the public realm in Birmingham and how poor it is. So here we go. Someone with vision impairment, I think it's very important that we keep a good upkeep of our pavements and the way in which we look after the city in general. And this is for anybody in any council. I don't care which party you're from, but I think it's important that I think Birmingham City Council needs to get a grip on the public realm in Birmingham, and just walking through from the bus from outside of the New Street station today, and just walk up the steps and into the main High Street area across from the Bullring. And as you walk from the Bullring into the main shopping area, where you have Marks and Spencer's, for instance, that area there, you're walking down there, and every single step you take, there's loose cobbles all over the place. There's broken, tiles. There's broken slabs. There's subsidence. It's in a terrible state, and that's just that little small area where you walk down towards Marks and Spencer's, and then if you turn left to go up to, when you go up to the Corporation Street, it's a similar state of repair, or disrepair, shall we say. Loads of small blocks, which are moving around. They've got they've got no adhesion at all, and they need to be, and whether that's subsidence or whether it's because of lorries or vans going over the top of them or whatever, they need to sort it out, because it's getting to a state now where it's not just an odd slab here and there. It is quite consistently bad through that area. And if you walk down to the main High Street, there again it's the same all over the centre of Birmingham. And it's so sad to see that the place going to pot like it is. I know they've said they're going to spend some money on public realm improvements because of the Commonwealth Games. Well, they need to get on with it, because it's May now. It's only about a few weeks until the Commonwealth Games starts. And in all honesty, it doesn't make Birmingham look good at all. And you've got to also look at the way in which the city looks, the graffiti, the rubbish all lying all over the place. Now, to a certain extent, as far as rubbish is concerned, we can all do our bit on that, and that is, dispose of your stuff properly, Don't just chuck it on the floor. There's plenty of bins. But I think what needs to happen really is that they need, especially in the centre of Birmingham, I think they actually need to have some people out and about and consistently making sure those bins are full, making sure the street is clean. Now, they do have automatic cleaners, there's the ride-on cleaners or the push cleaners that have to wash down the pavements and what have you, and they do that early in the morning. It may be a good idea to see them a bit more regular, maybe throughout the day. And I know it's an issue around, people having to dodge around these things, but I think it would be a good idea if there was some activity around about, especially after a normal sort of office type lunch break, say. They come back out at 2:00 and go over again. That might be a good idea to do. And certainly through the night as well. Maybe a good idea to, we've got to look after the people who are doing the cleaning and stuff. We've got to make sure that they're safe and they're looked after. But I think we need to get a grip on the way in which the city centre looks. It's not good. And certainly with the big blocks are put down because of terrorism and stuff in the past. I think you need to do something about that. I think you need to actually look and see, do we actually need these blocks anymore? Is it just a case of they've been put there and they just forget about them? And how about painting them some bright colours, not black? How about something a bit different, or take them away? Because at the end of the day, I know people say, well, terrorism is a big thing, but at the end of the day, I think we need to grow up here and start saying, well, we don't need to have these big, massive blocks of concrete all over the place. And it just makes the place look bad. And people say, well, what about terrorism? Well, if a terrorist is going to do something, they're going to do something. Those blocks aren't going to stop them. Maybe stop a van or something, but it's not going to stop. If terrorists really want to do something, they will find a way of doing it without the blocks, all the blocks in place. So the other thing I want to sort of talk about a little bit is this. It seems increasingly likely that these electric scooters are going to be being given the go-ahead, and I'm really annoyed about that, because I don't think enough has been done to actually look at the way in which these scooters are being used. You got kids riding on the road now. No protection, no nothing. The first time a kid gets knocked over and killed by a car or a truck because they zoomed across the road without looking, because 9 times out of 10 they don't bother looking, there's going to be absolute hell on. And I think really for people with vision impairment and people with poor mobility, these things are a nightmare, because they'll just whiz onto the pavements and they'll go down these pavements at full pelt. And if one goes smacks into you, you've had it. So I really do think this has not been thought out, and I really do hope that the council actually stops these scooters from being allowed on pavements and really strict about it. And if they've got to go on the road in the same area that a cycle would, for instance, then you're going to have to find the money to make sure that you enforce the rules. So make them wear helmets, make them wear elbow guards or what have you. And if you see them whizzing down the road with a t-shirt on and shorts on during the warm weather, stop them and take the scooter off them and say, you're not getting it back until you change into some reasonable clothes. Because when you see these people on motorbikes, they think, I'm not going to come off. But it's bad enough falling off a bike, an ordinary bike. Now, man going at 30, 40 miles an hour. And these electric scooters can go, I think they can go above 12 miles an hour, I think. So, in some respects, faster than a mobility scooter. So, I think we need to discuss the public realm and how bad it is. And after these elections are over on Thursday, we actually need to see these things taken into account and some action done, actually, not taken into account, some action done by the council, whoever's leading the council, whichever party's in charge or parties are in charge. We need to see a real surge in making the environment so much better. And, that means, in fact, what I would do is I'd make them work overnight. Make them work overnight so they finish the actual projects of relaying paving slabs and stones and what have you, and cobbles and what have you, and make them work overnight during the week. Work overnight, and so that you can finish the project quicker, and you don't have people with trucks and vans and stuff all over the place during the day as well. Because certainly there's not a lot of people that live in that area. There's some, but there's not a lot in the centre of Birmingham where all this is taking place. And they really need to get a grip on the roads as well. So a lot of the developments that have been going around in Birmingham, and some of the buildings that have gone up, and that to resurface the road, well, they should have blocked the road off, and should have done a proper resurfacing of the road. And I know this is all down to money, and I think they've said that they're going to invest, but we actually need to see this happening. And although I've spoken about the centre of Birmingham, because that's where I was today, we must not forget other parts of Birmingham, some of the housing estates, some of the cul-de-sacs outside of Birmingham, the centre of Birmingham, and concentrate on them as well, because they're usually the last to get any improvement. I think they're going to spend £20 million improving the public realm in the centre of Birmingham. That's all well and good, but these areas outside the city centre need a leg up as well. They need to have, paving stones and paving slabs made safe. They need better lighting, better pedestrian crossings, things like that. And of course, I'm just talking about things that affect people with vision impairment and people with disabilities. So there's all other things they've got to get a grip on as well. But I think for the moment, they need to really look at the public realm in the centre of Birmingham, and nobody can say it's in a good state of repair. So let's hope when the election's over on the Friday morning, and whoever's in power in Birmingham pulls the finger out and get some of the repair done. So that's me for now. See you later. Bye bye.